guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Weekly Reads. Welcome back to Weekly Reads, where I talk about the books that I read in the past week and the ones that I'm reading currently. And yeah, so basically let's get on to the books that I DNF'd in the past week, because I didn't finish a single book in the past week. And the book that I DNF'd was this one, The Lost Homestead by Marina Wheeler. In my opinion, this book is not only like a very self-centered memoir, but it's also a very whitewashed one, right? Because the partition in general was a very painful and a very, the British Raj itself was a very painful era, okay? It was a very painful and a bad state of time because there were famines and, like all of this stuff that generally happened. And this book basically is a very self-centered and a very whitewashed version of the same. Now I do not know what do the people or what does the British government teach the students in the UK, what kind of history lessons are the Britishers taught with respect to colonialization, because they not only colonized India, they colonized a lot of other countries as well. But if this is what you're teaching in your history class, then that's a problem. I mean, I'm going to make a whole separate video on this book talking about the problems in the book and the things I agree with as well. But let me just tell you, this is a very, very, very it's like a British perspective on the partition. It just sucks big time, okay? It just sucks big time. And in today's world, when we talk about things like Black Lives Matter and other issues surrounding white privilege, this is an example of how one-sided a book can be, like simply how one-sided it can be. So yeah, that's that. This is going to get a separate video criticizing it, and yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about it for now. I think this Sunday I'll upload a video on this one, so that's the plan. So let's move on to the books that I'm reading currently, because I'm really hoping to have like a nice reading month. And last week the books I was reading, I was not very happy with it, but this week I'm a bit happier, at least with the books that I'm reading currently. So the first book that I'm done with about 58-60% is this one. It's Gen Petrol on the Purple Line by Deepa and Nabara. Last week I didn't have much comments about the book, but this week I like it, okay? So I still do agree that this is Slumdog Millionaire Part 2, but it does have a mystery factor to it. It's not biased, okay? Like I said, it does have those Slumdog Millionaire vibes, but that's okay, because what triumphs that particular one is the innocence of a child. Basically, the story is simple, that a child goes missing in a basti, and there are a group of children who are trying to, who go in search of him. And this book is written through the child's perspective, through Jay's perspective, basically. And it's a nice and a cute book, if I may, because it talks about the world through the child's eyes, and it's very interesting at many places. Because last week when I had completed 20%, it literally felt like Slumdog Millionaire, but this week after completing 38 more percent, I just felt like it's very interesting what children observe, and it's very interesting how children behave in certain situations, and that would be very different as compared to adults, and how children have that kind of observational power, which is actually a token of their innocence. So that's that, and I'm enjoying this. It's not bad. It's a nice book, and I'm thankful that I'm enjoying this. Okay, so that's that. Okay, cool. Now let's get on to the book, the audiobook that I'm reading currently, and that is I'm done with I don't know, I think I'm done with again 36% or something like that, and that is Leonard Pitts Jr.'s The Last Thing You Surrender. So this is a World War II story involving a US Marine, and I don't want to say anything else. It's a story that starts from the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and that's that. So it's a good book so far. It talks a lot about racism during World War II, and it also talks about the segregation and the issues that colored people had to face in the US. So that's that. And then let's move on to the new editions this week. The first new edition, you get my point, right? So the first new edition is my short story book of the month. And as you might have known, if you've seen my 2021 goals list, that I want to read like one short story book a month. And my short story book of this month is this one. It is Nisha Susan's The Women Who Forgot to Invent Facebook and Other Stories. And it's actually a pretty short book, and it's actually pretty cool as well. It's like a very offbeat, hip short story book, and I like it so far. I normally like short stories in general, but this is like nothing like the other short story books I've read, because I've read like very neat and nice and like clean cut short stories, but this is not like that. This is like very hip, and it's very much like, I would say, it contains a lot of things that are unusual in the Indian society, or might be considered taboo in the Indian society, and that's what I like about this book. It's very different actually, and I like it. So yeah, that's that. And then the final book that I'm reading, and this is a buddy read with Sean the Book Maniac, and it is Trying to Grow by Firdaus Kanga. And I love this book as well. So it is non-fiction, and Firdaus Kanga is a differently able person who needs wheelchair for assistance, and it talks about how he dealt with the whole situation when he was a child, when he was a teenager, and things like that. And I really like the humor and the writing in this book. Plus it's very relatable because the book is set in Bombay, and Firdaus Kanga was in Campion, so I know people from Campion and things like that. So it's a very interesting book, and more importantly, I think the humor that the author possesses is, I think it's very alluring, right? It's very alluring, and I'm enjoying it so far, and even Sean's enjoying it so far, and I'm kind of not like with 34% of the book. So yeah, that's that. And yeah, so this week I am enjoying my reading. I am very happy that I DNF'd a book that I was not enjoying, because I normally don't do that. And that being said, it's a nice reading week. Things are going nice. Okay, cool. That's it for my weekly reads. I know this is an abrupt end, but then I'm just like getting back to reading like one of these right now. I think before filming the video, I was reading this one, and I kind of like want to finish it this week, but I think I'll like stretch it to next week, and then I'll pick up another short story book. Yay, that's the plan. Okay, cool. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on my Sunday upload. Bye.